Hey crew, I'm going to give you a solo drill that you can work to kind of an adjunct to the drills I'm going to give you on ESP roll number 135, which is going to be volume 13 in our combination man curriculum program. On that, we're going to be building off what we did in the very first volume, even though we're way up here in the raw volumes. We started last January of 2013, volume 1, moving on forward, continuing sequence of trying to build the best combination man we can get, combination man, combination woman. We're doing the best boxing, pugilism we can, so yes, the elbows and the knees are in it. Much less about kicks. I think we had a great example of why less on that recently. Speed recovery to Mr. Silva. And what we're doing here is we'll be building up, talking about on ESP roll number 135, we're continuing to build off of that front snap all the way down to the front headlock position. From the front headlock position, we know we can run off into maximum cranks, gator rolls, would have you all the way over to the reverse lever. But often, I mean, once we got those basics out of the way, which we've already covered on 123 and a few other volumes beyond that, take a look at the PR toss for this. You'll see the other volumes that go as adjuncts with it. On 135, what we're primarily covering is once you've snapped on that front headlock, and you're running into some stubborn resistance, because more than likely that's what you're going to face, to make sure that you're not doing anything where you're flopping your back, taking an unnecessary roll, or God forbid throwing legs over in the hopes of pulling off a somewhat iffy submission that might have a 50 to 60% chance of finishing off. We're trying to keep you on top whenever and wherever possible. Now this particular drill is a solo drill. It wasn't included on our silent partner drill with the wrestling dummy, and it's also not included on roll 135, so we can make sure that's all new and fresh material for you. But the main thing we're going to do, whenever you've got yourself a wrestling dummy, it doesn't have to be our standard or two-legged dummy. You can run it with a Greco dummy if you want, but you definitely have to have the head and arm set up. This dummy runs, I think the last one was on the scales. Depends when the moisture gets to it. It could be about 90 pounds. Doesn't matter, but we know it's the dead weight on it. What we're trying to do is give you a solo drill to build up the particular type of grip you need for that front headlock position. Main thing we're looking at, a lot of times people hook up that front headlock position. We're still seeing people move off to some degree, this is about 70% of the time, bar grip position, meaning here, where we also know that bar grip position means it's such an easy counter to us to reach up and peel that wrist off. We're going to go to a finger hook grip position, you know, butterfly lock if you want, but chances are around a dummy of this size, the circumference is going to be so big. Get used to fat man gripping, which means using that Indian grip all the way throughout. Now what we're going to do, when you're doing your front headlock position, we know that we want you to have sprawling pressure in. We're wanting to crank that head down with the chest. But it's not hard. I mean, all the good wrestlers out there have good crunch in position. We're going to make sure though that we've got contrary pressure with the grip pulling in. Often what we're seeing is, let alone this might be a bad grip, but when we move off to a fat man grip, we're pulling in and we're seeing a little bit of slackness in this grip. We're seeing letting the chest do all the work, but we look around, we see a little bit of space on the grip. Hopefully this will be much more sense when I pick up the dummy to do this. What we're going to do is a static hold with the dummy. You're just not going to lay down on top of it. For example, once we turn this dummy over, and I can hook up the head, as we're seeing this side, I'm overhooking an arm on this side for a front headlock. Sure, we know that I can give pressure just by putting a sprawl through, but there's no, I mean, the pressure's on the dummy, but this is, as far as the physical workout's doing nothing for me. Even if I'm telling you, for all I'm worth, I'm really squeezing up nice and tight with my fat man grip position. Doesn't do you any good to know how much pressure we're putting in. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up to a squat position, rehook that grip, and then at the same time we're crunching down with our chest, down with this head is trying to sneak out underneath the arm. We're going to kind of put hip through and elevate the feet off the mat. Even if it only comes 4 to 6 inches off the mat, that's okay. This lets us know we get integrity with the grip. And also the hips going through. This dummy will not lift unless the hips go through and the grip has integrity. There's no integrity with the grip, it's not going to come off the mat. So with that said, I hook it up in that fat man grip, reach that high crotch and pull it in tight. And then get that lift up. We see how the hands are in play. If I switch off to a bar grip, what I'm talking about, if this dummy were alive, he reaches up and just peels the hand off position. But again, that's not the point of this. This is to build up the grip and the hips through and how tight. This dummy's not going to lift unless my hips go through as you would in a tight sprawl. And again, by keeping this pulled in tight to me. Notice my elbows don't flare to the outside. I'll lose all strength on this. And the dummy will drop, as we'll see if I keep my elbows tight to my body. And then at one point, I'm going to let my elbows flare just an inch to the outside. It's not acting position here. The thing just drops biomechanically. I want to stay. So elbows in, flare them out a little bit, and I start losing some of it. So I keep the elbows in, fat man grip in, hips in, and go up. Now, how you work the drill is a series of lifts. I can pick it up one side, drop, pick it up on the other side, drop. Let's say you give yourself a set of 10. right, and left is 1, and the last one, pick it up, and give yourself a maximum hold as long as you can to hang on to it, because often we know in a good grappling sequence, it's going to be how much static pressure you can keep on the entire time. So yes, the hips all the way through. The main thing is making sure you're using the proper grip, staying with it the whole time. Now if you think about that drill with your wrestling dummy in context with the drills that we're running in 135, we're talking about being able to maintain that front headlock position. We're going to give you, good Lord, I want to say it's 23 drills or even more. Anyway, to help you run around whatever pressure you might going to be, whether popping up to a stand-up, rolling, moving to either side, moving to a tripod positions, giving you a good hip elevation, and try to move underneath. You're going to make sure you have a way to flow to it without ever dropping over to your back, to your side, throwing your legs over the top. Make sure you still come out and wind up with a good submission out the top of it. Anyway, hope you give this drill a try, and if you want to add on where we need for it to fit in, grab yourself ESP Raw 135, and you should be good to go.